Hey guys, I'm Eric.
I'm Don.
Chris.
We are D&E Miniature and Board Games.
And Chris.
Yes.
Chris is becoming a steadfast guest.
Yeah, special guest.
He feels special.
I
don't know why.
The two of us were ganging up and teasing Eric, so I like him already.
Candy?
I've had all the Snickers.
I'm trying to quit.
Alright. So, tonight we went ahead, we played Lobotomy. A couple games now.
Grab the box.
And as usual, after we play it, we score it. We score on 1 to 5. 1 being an utter piece of cow dung. 3 being average. 5 being outstanding. We score on graphics and artwork, rulebook, components, replayability, and overall fun.
Did you have fun?
We'll talk about that during the review.
Oh, okay.
So,
We should record a review.
you think?
We should.
Graphics and artwork. Don, why don't you go with graphics and artwork?
I gave it a 4. I like it. I like the theme. It's pretty. Looks good to me.
Chris?
I gave it a 3. I mean, it looks okay. It fits the theme. I think the artwork's. I don't know. I'm not comfortable with the art. I guess it's too weird.
Weird?
Yeah, like
That's insane!
Are you saying the game about mental patients escaping a thing is just too weird for you?
it's just. I don't know. I wasn't. Not that I didn't like the theme of it. I just didn't like the look of some. Like this guy looks alright, but some characters just kind of look really bad. Like the art just kind of looks kind of shitty, honestly. But not that that's a bad thing to an extent. Because I gave it a 3. I thought it was average. I thought it was fine. I mean, look at this. This looks good, but it kind of looks off, like weird, strange, in a certain way where it's like I kind of don't want to look at it for too long.
Hey, you gave it a 3. That's average.
It's average.
Yeah, it's average because it's not bad. It's also not great.
So, graphics and artwork for me, I as well gave it a 4 like Don. I didn't see it just average. I thought the cartoonish and I liked it. Wasn't outstanding, but I just liked it. So I gave it a 4.
We should come back to this one.
To rule.
Let's go to components.
What?
We're
skipping,
gonna-
like, the best part.
We're gonna
We
skip
should
rulebook
skip that
to the end, and we're gonna jump to components.
Yeah.
I gave components a 3.
You changed your answer.
No, I always have 3.
No.
I changed my answer. I also gave it a 3.
I gave it. Oh, go ahead.
Though I didn't really have so much of a problem. I thought the figures were great.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we're missing 2, I thought the figures were great. The cardstock was fine. The game boards themselves are good and thick. You're not going to get a lot of warpage, I don't think. Where I fell was when you had to put the doors in the file cabinets, or the cabinets, or the lockers, or whatever we're calling it, because there's like 2 different tokens for the same thing. I think it was hard on those map tiles to see where these were supposed to be placed, because it was like, oh, you place it on the lighted little spot, the lit spot, the highlighted spot. Really? You gotta stand on top of the damn thing to see the highlighted spots.
Yeah,
on
it's
some
a little
of those map
hard
tiles.
to-
It is a little hard to see that. The highlighted spot is why my score went from a 4 to a 3. I mean, the miniatures are awesome. They're great. And shipping errors does not lower the quality of miniatures.
I didn't say. I
Yes,
said
you
even though we
yes,
were
you
missing.
did.
I said even though we're missing 2
Us,
of
you
them.
did.
We're missing baby doll.
But I didn't lower it. I just said even though we're missing 2.
I think really my score was lower mostly because of the highlighted areas were not
We had a heck of a time.
highlighted enough.
We had a heck of a time setting up the first game just because of it.
Yeah, well, that could get to our
I
final.
don't think it's
score
that
too.
bad.
All
I mean,
right,
it
Chris,
is
and give me your
frustrating.
score.
I gave it a 4. I thought it's a little frustrating, sure, but it's manageable. The reason why I like it, why
He didn't set it up, did he?
I did set it up.
You did?
I
You
did.
The second one?
I did. I said the second game,
Okay.
yeah, and it was hard, yeah, and it doesn't stand out very well. But I don't know, I thought I thought it was all right. I like the doors. I mean, the doors having like a 3D little model to it. That's not necessary. You could just have this. the inclusion of these doors is real nice. I thought that was.
I do like the doors, though. I'm not crazy about how we're using them. I think it would be better keeping the door
Just
here
like that.
and drawing
Well,
the thing randomly out.
We could do that.
We
could
talked
have, yeah.
about that.
But I didn't take off points for that. I just think
Didn't
thought-
take off points for that either.
I'm honestly more like a 3.5, really, and the reason why is
We
because
don't do 3.5.
we don't do 3.5. There's no in between. But those tokens, the little here we go, health and whatever the hell miscellaneous tokens, are just kind of like bland circular discs. Could have really gone with for like teardrops or I don't know. If I would use stuff from Arkham Asylum or any other
Chris,
Lovecraftian
I'm still
game.
trying to figure out what half of these tokens are actually used for, okay?
Let me see that box. Let me see that box.
that actually is in the rule book.
All
What
those
these
tokens?
tokens are
All right.
actually in the rule book, amazingly enough.
Dude,
I
really?
thought the components were fine enough.
Maybe
They weren't bad.
because of how... Well, we said we go back to the rule book, so...
So,
Yeah.
Chris,
take
replayability.
replayability. I gave it a 5, actually. I thought there was a lot of replayability in this. I mean, you can just set this up however you want. Just go ham with it. Hell, we only did one scenario. We were here for, what, 3 hours, roughly?
Yeah.
And this game plays in 4 scenarios. You'd be here for about a whole day. Literally gone. And some people may like that. I personally would not, but some people may like that. And I thought the fact that you do 4 scenarios, and there's, what, maybe 30, 40 cards in here.
Yeah.
Any scenario is slightly, it's different. You get to experience all the B horror movies and all the fun stuff that you grew up with watching, like Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, The Shining, all that stuff. It's great.
Wait a minute, Chris. You gave what? Replayability a what?
5.
And you gave artwork and graphics a 3. Components
Yes.
a 4.
Yes.
So 3, 4, 5.
We're missing 2. We're not
All right,
fun yet.
all right.
You're wondering why I think it's so low. The other 2.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
It's
We'll get to it.
no.
Replayability for us. We don't go out turn.
Okay, well, to expand on my replayability, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things you can do with this game, and all the mix and matching with the weapons, the meds, and then you got these skill cards that you get at the beginning of the game. I mean, you can mix and match as much as you like. I think it's worth a lot of replay. Not that I would play it a lot, but I'm being honest. You can play it a lot.
I think you have to cut them off sometimes. you
Yeah.
know.
Go ahead. You can.
I think there's a lot of replayability. I gave it a 4. 4 out of 5. I'm not sure what exactly would be. Have I ever given a 5? Maybe the others.
You've given 5 on a couple things.
Yeah.
The others.
It was probably a Simon game. I'm kind of a Simon whore.
He is.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. There's a lot of replayability in here. There's a ton of different scenarios, and you can either pick them, you can do it randomly. There's certain scenarios that you have to use a certain tile, the other ones you get to pick yourself. You could play this game 100 times and never play the same game twice. That's at least a 4.
I gave it a 4 on replayability as well. I saw with the same thing that guys were saying. You've got different map tiles. You got double-sided. You've got different scenarios you can use. You can randomly pick them. You can take them from the book. You've got all the different cards that could possibly come out while you're playing. You've got 10 different memory cards once you put all the extras plus yours in?
Yes, 10.
So you got 10 different memory cards that you could randomly pick. You've got 4 different of the starting cards. You can take, 2 of the 4? 2 of the 4 right off the rip. And all the different mental issues.
Yeah, and characters.
You got we got 10 characters to start out with, 2 that we haven't got yet, which makes 12 characters you can choose from. I mean, the possibilities are kind of endless.
6?
I think so.
Overall fun. I gave overall fun a 4. I wasn't jumping out of my seat, but I was having a good time. It's got a good fun factor to it, and I don't know. I really can't say why. I did have fun with it. I wasn't over the top on it, but it was a little above average for me.
I also gave it a 4. I thought the game was fun. Though, granted, I don't think maybe the first time you play this, you will probably not get a 4. But we'll go to that in a minute.
Well, actually, the first game of this, I wouldn't have given it a 4.
No.
But
we'll get to that.
I was so freaking lost in the first game.
And I think that reason alone is why I gave it a 2. I can see its potential as being fun, but I don't have fun trying to constantly learn a game and trying to understand what the hell's going on, or even... It just feels like there's no mechanics of this game. It's just nothing but oozing with steam. And I'm a man who loves to enjoy a game that has mechanics that tie in with what's going on in the game. And this just didn't have that. It's mostly just steam. It's a dungeon crawling RPG-ish terror, game that...
So then it's the typical Ameritrash where you like a Euro game.
I don't like Euro games. I dislike Ameritrash, but I know that it can be done right, and I don't think this one did it right. It did it well. There's a lot of stuff, it's real neat, it's real cool, but it wasn't... The replayability of this game could be easily matched by something like Betrayal at House on the Hill, which is a similar B-movie type kind of scenarios that you play. And I think that's a much shorter game. There's a lot of scenarios to it. And I think you can just have much more fun with that, in my opinion. Because I guess why is because I've played a much better version, maybe. But I didn't enjoy it as much as I would have thought I did. I mean, that's just me. Which actually is because of one glaring problem that we have.
Could be, yes.
Rulebook.
Yeah.
We're going to step back to Rulebook now.
If we can call it that.
Okay, so before we start this, I'm going to... after I get my score, I'm going to explain why.
Well, we all have the same score.
No, we don't all have the same score.
Really?
I could see it from here.
Oh, I see this. How dare you?
Okay, and there's a reason. Now, obviously, the original rulebook that came with this game was another piece of cow dung. I mean, if I went based just on that thing that came in the game,
I did.
I would have given it a 1.
I didn't read it.
The reason I went... Well, how'd you score it if you didn't read it?
Because I know it. Just because I didn't read a rule book that's bad does not make it not bad. Alright, if I have to... Well, go on with your point. I'll explain my point and then further, as we go on. But go ahead. Why'd you give it a 2?
The reason I gave it a 2 was that it...
What's its saving grace?
The saving grace is that by the time we actually got the game, there was a completely revised rulebook out.
Yeah, but not me.
That we were able to learn the game and play it by. And that revised rulebook is available to anyone that buys this game. The other reason is that even though the initial one was just rancid, it did have good example pictures and stuff in there. It's just some saving graces, but the biggest one is that, yes, they did revise the rulebook, and the new revised rulebook is not nearly as bad.
But
we got it before we got the game. They were aware of the problem, and they fixed it by the time we played. That's what gave it a 2 in my book.
Okay.
Done.
I do think people should be allowed to fix their mistakes. Now, I knew way before anything had come out that there was problems with the translation. It was bad. I gave the rulebook a 1 because it's very pretty. It's very pretty. It's nicely done as long as you don't actually read it.
I mean, the cover looks
You
nice.
just look at it. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's got some colorful pages. Look at that. It's got examples, text that looks nice.
Oh, if you just look at that. Oh, that looks great. That should be good.
Yeah,
until you start to read it.
Looks nice, right?
Myth has been knocked off the pedestal as far as the worst rule book ever.
I wouldn't say that, but...
Oh, I will. I'll say it. Myth that's it. This is the new worst rule book ever.
Yeah, Myth was pretty bad.
Like I said, It's pretty. That's the only reason why I didn't give it a 0.
There's a lot of so much theme. It just screams it. I also gave it a 1. I do think it's a really bad rulebook, and a lot of it has to do with how. There's some background to this game. This game was kickstarted like maybe 3 years ago.
It has been a minute. I don't think it's been that long though.
During the Kickstarter, they were actually working on the playtesting of this game. So they didn't have the rules figured out before even trying to launch a Kickstarter. So during the Kickstarter of this game, rules were still being written. I think
but that's not abnormal. That's actually normal. You do... most Kickstarters are still... A lot of the ones we backed, they're still working on rules for the game when we were backing them.
Even CMOD games, too.
Yeah, that's
not a lot of them, actually. Well, at least not the ones that I know.
Hold that thought.
Okay. I want to clarify that I did not read this rulebook. I did read the PDF that this was more or less written of, because I browsed to the Kickstarter page and saw the PDF out, read it through it, saw all the details on it. I didn't get to see all the pictures and pretty colors that we were just discussing, but I did go through the rulebook. And after going through the rulebook, I was madly confused. To which I went on the BoardGameGeek.com and saw the revised edition of the rulebook, which I read and then understood the game a whole lot better.
Yeah, if you have this game, you really should go to Board Game Geek and look at the files there. There should be a link below the video. Make sure the link is in the video. That's got to do that.
Because I'm the only one that does any video work in this whole house. Thank you.
You are.
I think a rulebook doesn't do good if you need player aids, multiple player aids, some setup guides. If the rulebook isn't doing that for you, it's not a good rulebook. If you have to get supplements from other sources, the designers of the game did not make a rulebook enough for you to just have the game manual to rely on. They have to rely on other things. And I know a lot of games have supplements that are user created, but you need these for this game, or it's unplayable.
Yeah, it's a requirement for this one.
You can't do it, and that's not okay as a rulebook.
Well, actually, that rulebook...
But this isn't even the real final copy.
That thing?
Yeah.
I tried reading that. I tried understanding what the heck was going on. And you guys saw the first game that we played. I hadn't seen because Don brought the printed version.
The printed one.
I'm sitting here going,
what? Yeah.
Why are we? What are we doing?
Had we recorded the first game, he was just bewildered by skills and cooldowns and.
Oh, you didn't want to see that because I started. It's like, all right, oh Lord, what do we do now?
I was like, why are we putting this here? And what's cooldown? And
yeah,
but. Because you guys had a chance to read the revised, and I hadn't had that chance because, frankly, you sent me the link. I just never got a chance to get to it.
I know. We get busy.
Very busy.
Yeah.
But, so I gave it 2. You guys gave 1. It's still below average. At that point, it really doesn't matter.
No, of course not.
No, the rulebook is terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, it's a...
Not that the rules are terrible, but the rule book.
I don't know. That's kind of a stretch. There's a lot of moving parts in this game. There's a lot of rules to this game, and
I don't think the rules themselves are bad.
They refer to things like so strangely. Like you get +1s to dice. In most games, you add a dice to it, or you add to one die roll, but. The vocabulary, the way the rules are explained to you, both in card text and in the rulebooks, are just kind of everywhere.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not that the rules are bad. It's how they're explaining how to play it to you is bad. Really, get somebody to teach you how to play this game. That is the best way to learn this.
Yeah, because this is not easy.
But, between the 3 of us, we got it.
We moved pretty fast. We were moving so fast, I didn't know it was my turn again. I was like, whoa, what's going on?
Heck, I was trying to do movement again. We just got done with movement. I was like... But, so... Overall score.
I give you the lowest.
3.4.
That's fair, actually.
It really is.
Yeah, because this is 7 point something in BGG. So I mean, yeah.
I mean, I can't. It's got good points.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get the new rule book and trudge through it, it really doesn't have bad dynamics, in my opinion. It's easy to move stuff around.
This board gets kind of cluttered. I don't know if I'd say that. You'd have to design. You have to designate.
You've never played some cluttery board games like
I don't
Don
play.
and
I don't play miniatures a lot, actually. As you may have already known from other things I've said.
Hey, that's not cluttered.
This?
That wasn't cluttered. Trust me.
I've seen Zombicide. I don't know. That's cluttered.
Yeah.
I played that. Yeah.
I watched my daughter in Zombicide throw a Molotov cocktail into a square.
Oh god.
And get 153 points.
That's a lot of clutter.
That's a lot of clutter.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
That was that great big 28 square game we were playing. There were 3 abominations in there for crying out loud. Or 5. There was 4 abominations in there.
I stopped doing those things.
We're getting off topic.
But anyway, 3.4, a little bit above average. Not much. It's an average game. I'm not even gonna hype it too much. Don actually gave it the highest score. I mean,
yeah,
I liked it. I liked it. I recommend it.
Have you played Betrayal House on the Hill?
Yes, I have.
And you like this better?
I like Bells and Whistles.
Bells and Whistles?
Bells and Whistles.
Bells and Whistles.
This is Bells and Whistles. This is Bells and Whistles.
Oh.
Beautiful miniatures, 3D tokens.
Yeah, but it's just the insides. It's just so ugly.
Right. It's like House on the Hill is like nothing but mechanics.
Here's the thing, though. If you grade,
and then this is like the really pretty sports car.
So yeah, you know, if this was House on the Hill, if House on the Hill was like this, I'd be like, yes, great.
Here's the thing, though. If you grade every game,
see, that would be a 5.
That would be a 5.
That would be
around.
a 5.
If you grade every game based on like how bad a rule book is, or basically thematics, you know, everybody has different views. It's like, Chris, you had one score, I was in the middle, and Don was on the high.
Oh yeah.
I mean, reality, you and Don are like 2 different spectrums for this game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of in the middle of both of you because I can't even really explain why, but
Because you're weird.
Could be. But I also, you know,
He is.
yeah.
Well, the reason behind my stuff is because I love a game with good mechanics. I mean, that's just me. I love a game I can just tear into. I think that if a game is unplayable unplayable until you understand what's happening, I don't think it's a great game in my opinion. Because you should be able to convey the information in your rules in order to sit down and play a nice game with your friends. Not have to spend hours on end trying to interpret what the hell the designer's trying to tell you. And that, in my opinion, it makes for a bad game. Not to say this is bad. It's just badly written, I suppose. I mean, I had some fun. I gave it, what, was it 2? I gave it 2. It wasn't horrible.
I had fun.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It was good. I thought the ending was fun.
But anyways, guys, 3.4. As always, support your local gaming. We support Discover Games, Fayetteville, Georgia. Game on.
Game on.
Game on.